Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tiffany if you're new here, and I live in Athens, Greece. And probably one of the top questions I get asked in Athens is where should I stay when I'm coming there on holiday? So today I'm going to talk to you about all of the neighborhoods that I recommend that you stay in Athens when you're coming on your vacation. All of these places are going to be within a 20-minute or less walking distance of the Acropolis. And make sure that you stay to the end because I'm going to talk about the neighborhood that you shouldn't stay in when you come to Athens. The first neighborhood that I'm going to talk about is the neighborhood of Plaka. It is the oldest neighborhood in Athens, and it is probably the most picturesque neighborhood in Athens. So even if you're not staying there, you're definitely going to want to head to Plaka to go take photos. Plaka is also one of the most popular neighborhoods to stay in when people come on their holidays. So it has developed quite a bit of shops and restaurants as a result. And the neighborhood is sort of in the shadow of the Acropolis. So depending on where in Plaka you're staying, you're probably a 5 to 10 minute walk to the entrance of the Acropolis. The other great thing is you're within walking distance of 2 metro stations, the Acropolis metro station and the Sigtogma metro station. The con of this neighborhood is that because it is the most popular, it is probably going to be the first place that books up for the summer holidays. So if that's the neighborhood you want to stay in, you need to book sooner rather than later. Down in the description box below, I'm going to put a link that has recommended hotels in all of these neighborhoods. The next neighborhood I'm going to recommend is the neighborhood of Monasteryaki. It is sort of the beating heart of Athens, especially if you're going to Monasteryaki Square. And the reason I like to recommend this neighborhood is because a lot of the archaeological sites that you're going to want to see are located in this neighborhood. It is also home to the Monasteryaki flea market, so there are lots of shops and there are also lots of restaurants in this neighborhood. The other great thing is the Monasteryaki metro station is there, and not only will you have links to everything in the city, it also has a line that goes to the port of Piraeus. So let's say you're coming to Athens and then going to an island. It's a great place because you're just going to jump on that metro and go directly to the port. The great thing about staying in Monasteryaki is there are lots of hotels with rooftop bars, and that gives you a fabulous view of the Acropolis, which I highly recommend going up there and watching the sunset and then watching all the lights come on over the Acropolis hill. It also means that there's a good chance that your hotel room might also have a view of the Acropolis. The one con about staying in Monasteryaki is it can be very crowded, especially in the evenings. So if crowds are not your thing, this might be a neighborhood you want to avoid. The next neighborhood that I'm going to recommend is right next to Monasteryaki, and that is the neighborhood of Siri. The great thing about this neighborhood is the nightlife. If you want to come to Athens and explore everything there is to do in the evenings, this is the place to go. There are lots of traditional tavernas here and bars that stay open very late, and a lot of them have traditional live music. The one con about that is that it can be very loud in Siri. I once stayed in a hotel there that backed up to a restaurant that had live music, and I don't think it ended until about 1 o'clock in the morning. So, which if you're not gonna come home till 1 o'clock in the morning, that's not a problem. But if you need to get sleep, this probably isn't the neighborhood for you. There are a few hostels in this neighborhood, so that's a great option if you're looking to come here and save a little bit of money by staying in a hostel. The next neighborhood I'm going to recommend is sometimes called the Commercial Triangle and sometimes called like the Historic City Center. It is home to a lot of the wholesale shops, so you'll be walking around and you'll notice shops full of fabric or full of boxes, and they're just all wholesale places, which means that in some areas of this neighborhood, it is super quiet at night, so that's a bonus. But don't fret, there are a few things to do in this neighborhood. There are some great bars and restaurants. It's actually home to the 2022 best bar in the world, ranked number 19, which is the Clumsies. And I highly recommend that no matter where you're staying in Athens, that you go check out that bar. It is still a good 10 to 15 minute walk to everything, so it's still very central to a lot of things that you would want to see. The advantage here is because it is not a neighborhood that is as popular, some of the hotel prices are just a little bit less. So if you're trying to come on a budget, I definitely recommend looking in this area. The next neighborhood, we're gonna go a little bit south now, past Plaka, closer to the Acropolis, and that is the neighborhood of Monasteryaki. Monasteryaki is actually sort of where the Acropolis lives. One of the entrances is there, and the Acropolis Museum is in this neighborhood. So if you are only coming to Athens for, say, 1 or 2 nights, and you need to hit everything super quick, this is a great neighborhood. There are also some really amazing restaurants in this neighborhood, and of course the Acropolis metro station is right there. The one con is that because of its location, it is definitely more expensive than some of the other neighborhoods. There aren't a ton of hotels. The neighborhood is also super tiny, so it's another place that if you definitely want to stay in this area, you need to book early. The next neighborhood that I recommend is actually Kukaki. That is actually where I live. And what I really like about this neighborhood is you're a little bit further away from all the sites, but everything is super walkable. I'm probably a 15-minute walk from the Acropolis, and I live at the other end from the popular areas of Athens. What I like about Kukaki is it is still very much a neighborhood of Athens. Athenians live in this neighborhood, so you kind of get a neighborhood feel. There are also 2 pedestrian streets in this neighborhood with bars and restaurants, and lots of young people hang out here. It's a very hip and happening neighborhood. So if you're looking to have more of a local feel, I definitely recommend this neighborhood. The other great thing about Kukaki is there is a metro station, the Sigru Fix metro station, and there is also the tram. So the tram will run south all the way to the beach. So if you're looking for a midway point to do the sites in Athens and then go to the beach, staying in Kukaki is a really great option. The last neighborhood that I'm going to recommend to you is Sigtogma. If you've done any research, you may know Sigtogma because that is where the airport bus ends up on its trip into town. If you are looking for a luxury stay, Sigtogma is the neighborhood that you want to be in. Many of the 5-star hotels are located either right in the square or just a few blocks away. Also in this area is all of the shopping that you may possibly want to do down on Irmu Street, and not far from Sigtogma is the high-end department store of Attica. Now for what some of you have been waiting for, and this is where not to stay in Athens. And this is the neighborhood of Omonia. You may be tempted to book your hotel there because if you're looking at prices of hotels, you're gonna notice they're significantly cheaper there, and there's a reason why. And that is because it's not the best neighborhood. It has a big drug problem, and it's probably not gonna be super comfortable for you to walk through, particularly at night. It's not necessarily unsafe. Like, I don't think anything bad is going to happen to you if you stay here, but there's a reason why those hotel prices are less. If you're determined to stay in Omonia because of the hotel prices, my recommendation is that you take a taxi back to your hotel at night. However, that kind of defeats the purpose of saving the 10 or 20 euros that you might have by staying in this neighborhood. You're gonna probably have to spend about 10 euros to get back to your hotel at night. So it's definitely something that you want to keep in mind. If you need more tips for your trip to Athens, there's a video coming up on the screen now that will give you all my tips for your trips to Athens. I hope you enjoy your vacation. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.